Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Juan Carlos Brando, and today I'm hosting the show with the attorney Margaret W. Wong, who has over 46 years of experience working in the immigration field. And well, she has helped thousands of families every single year with immigration issues. They have problems with their documents, and she has helped them to get an immigration relief. So please feel free to join us today and send your questions that are going to be answered live and free by the attorney Margaret W. Wong, who has offices in 7 cities of the United States: Atlanta, Chicago, Cleveland, Columbus, Nashville, New York, and Raleigh, North Carolina. By the way, Ms. Wong is going to be in Columbus office tomorrow, and next week, next Friday, she's going to be in the city of Nashville. Also, she will be back traveling again to all of the cities that she has offices, including New York, Raleigh, Columbus, Nashville, Chicago, Atlanta. She will be traveling to all of the cities. And of course, she will be in Cleveland as well, where the headquarters are. So if you need to make an appointment, please give us a call. The phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. Let's welcome our attorney, Margaret W. Wong, to the show today. Good afternoon, Ms. Wong. How are you doing today?
Thank you, and I'm doing very well, and thank you.
Well, Ms. Wong, I'm Venezuelan, but somehow I feel some kind of satisfaction, and I don't want to be misunderstood by what I'm going to say, but in the last 2 or 3 years have come to the United States a bunch of people that are coming directly from jail, sent by the director of the jail department in Venezuela. They were given even $5,000 so they could cross the jungle and make it to the United States, and they were let in, some of them on a parole, some of them on a removal proceeding, but they are in the United States, and a concentration of them is in the city of New York. So there was a DED for Venezuelans, deferred enforced deportation, but since 2 days ago, they opened the deportation for Venezuelans, or for Venezuelans that have some kind of issues. And the first plane arrived yesterday in the city of Caracas with 127 Venezuelans that were removed from the United States. So I would like to know what your thoughts are about this. And I have to say that not all Venezuelans deserve to be deported, but not all Venezuelans should stay in the United States if they are going to do what they are doing in New York, for example.
Right. I totally agree with the statement. I know it sounds weird because our job is to help immigrants and not to send them back. But there has to be some that has to go back. America, I mean, even though we are the land of opportunity, we have to have some order, not the whole world could come. Worse is the government says, like the old Cubans. Years and years ago, the Marietta Cubans, that the person who died, the president who died, sent us all of us. They're still here. I mean, but on the other hand, they are raising beautiful kids. In fact, one of my former partner is a son of Marietta's Cubans, and he is an awesome young lawyer. So their children are doing great, but they're still here with criminal records, with no green card. Couldn't get a job because of criminal. There's on the form, the people always ask you, couldn't even get a green card. I mean, no papers for like 20, 30 years, So absolutely, we need to have these people out of America, including people who already has been here for years with serious criminal record, especially these sexual crimes, these not so much the robbery, because there's a lot of Vietnamese and Laos and Chinese. We have a lot of robberies, especially in the 70s and 80s in the Chinatown area, in the Vietnamese town. In those days, they don't even have a Korean town. They're so early because we protect each other. So we're stuck with buying relatives' tickets to come to America undocumented. That became an illegal transport. So the early days and the old Mexicans, a lot of us have criminal records too, because in those days we just don't know better. We don't know we're not supposed to drink and drive. We don't know we're not supposed to just help someone carry a package. Nowadays we are smart now. In those days, people would say, "Hey, do you mind going to the airport and pick up my brother? Oh, by the way, can you stop by this house and give them this envelope for me?" Of course, I will, because in those days people don't drive. So these are little things that, but absolutely, America cannot keep everybody that comes. And it's sad because now all Venezuelans felt, oh my gosh, it's just like all Chinese, right? Because Vincent Chin was murdered uh, as a Chinese in Detroit years and years ago. So the whole country Chinese felt, oh my gosh, everybody's going to think I'm Chinese. They're going to murder me, So things happen. The whole Asian hate is the same problem.
Thank you so much, Miss Wong. And well, let's uh, stay positive on this situation. Honestly, I don't want all Venezuelans to be deported because there are so many people that are good people. Uh, I know from the maybe 500,000 Venezuelans that are in the United States, or a million Venezuelans that are in the United States, I would say maybe uh, 30,000 or 50,000 should be uh, deported because they could be coming from gangs or organized crime. But the other 450,000 people, or the other 950,000 people, we are good people. So we don't want those 50,000 to damage or hurt our names because they are doing bad. So in general, it's like people from everywhere. We have bad people and we have good people. So um, somehow I appreciate that some bad people are being deported right now, but I hope that they make some measures, not like Mr. former President Trump wanted to do. Every person that has a removal order, we're going to remove all of them. No, we need to study the cases. And we need to know who we are deporting if they have criminal cases. So let's get ready with the questions, Ms. Wong. And thank you so much. Haresh Patel says, hi, good afternoon. And I have a question that I tried to write the whole thing, but it's very long. So I'm gonna read it from my inbox, and you tell me uh, if you get the question. Hello, ma'am. I am from India. I saw your YouTube regarding asylum. I am a Christian man. Um My age is 43. My name is Aken or Aken. My wife is 40 years old, and she came from a Muslim family. Her name old is Farida. Her new name is Selvi. We know each other from we were from high school back in 1999. We decided to get married, and she came to the Christianity. She became a Christian. So, because of that, we have received a lot of threats from the family. They canceled our marriage registration, but it's not the end. Um, the the father, the
Okay, I think I
relatives
know. I do a lot of Indian. This is not even intercaste, like the high caste, the Brahmin caste marrying a carpentry class. This is a serious Christian woman, man, who probably you are from the South, and I don't know what city and state you're from, with a Muslim man. Oh my gosh, and the poor girl became a Christian. I mean, that's like, ooh, it's a problem. And the fact that there's a lot of on a hurting, on a killing, it may be a good case. I don't know when you came to America, but if you file the case within a year, there's a lot of hope. If you file more than a year later, we need to explain why. Maybe the trauma, the drama, who was hurt in the family. Normally the sons are beating each other up. So we need to know the city, state, what's the last straw that like get you out. It's not a bad case, but then the question is, did we miss out 1 year? If so, why? Because the most you can get if you miss it 1 year is withholding. It'll be nice to get asylum, because asylum you can travel after you get a green card, become a citizen. Withholding only means that you can stay in America. Now they're talking about the A10 work permit being 10 years, 5 years, which is awesome. Because now the A10 is only good for 1 year, and now it's 2 years. So every 2 years you have to extend it. Now it's good for 5 years, which is perfect. So these are issues that you need to talk to. If you don't have a lawyer, just call me, because I love my Indian clients, and I've been into Indian 5 times. I actually swam in River Ganges. My whole head was down. I can swim, but I put my head down, which I thought is very holy. But that's what I would do. I also need some proof to show that she converted to Christian. Did she ever get baptized? Or it's just because Muslim, you cannot even question a faith. It's not like Christian. You can question your faith. You can go to a temple. You can go to a Muslim temple or a Sikh temple or something. That's okay. But for a Muslim man and woman, you cannot even question it. You cannot even go in. So I need to understand the word convert. Did you actually get baptized or become a member of that church, or you're just questioning it and you go a few times? So these are issues that my limited experience of your culture, but it's not a bad case. There is a case here.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And well, we have another interesting question. But for this person, if he doesn't say if he's in America or if he is out of America. So I just sent him the
Smart
question.
thinking, Mr. Juan Carlos.
Yeah, but yeah. So let's say if they are in America, if they don't have a year in the United States, they could apply for asylum. But what if they are living still in India?
Then they should not, when they apply for the tourist visa, they should not and could not express the fear or the stuff, because American embassy would not give them a tourist visa.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And don't forget, you can call. The phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. I got robbed in my business, pointed me with a gun. They didn't hurt me, and all is registered in camera. I live in New York.
Excellent.
I am from Bangladesh.
Okay, that's a U visa case. Depends on where you live in New York. In general, New York police, they normally sign the 918B. As I said earlier, there are 3 things. There is a crime. So number 1, make sure you report to police and make sure they don't think you set it up, because lately there's a lot of people setting up U visa cases. Number 1. Number 2 is make sure, Queens, that's very good. Great, thank you. So make sure you report to police. Make sure you have some damages or some injuries or something, because you have to have a harm. Number 3, it doesn't hurt to call the victim services to let them know, but Queens is actually pretty generous in their 918B signatures. I would not go right away. I would first report the crime, follow up with the sheriff of the arresting officer, reporting officer, sheriffs, and stuff like that, and see if buy them some donuts. It's not bribery, but it's just being nice that you are corroborating, because you have to be corroborating and help them identify the bad people. And then see if they'll sign your 918B. You have 6 months after that to file the paperwork, and make sure you don't miss it. We have a case that another law firm missed it. Now I have to call the person again and beg and to plead. They say it's been 3 years ago. I mean, what happened? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I didn't become the lawyer until yesterday, So these are problems.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And this person says that everything is registered in camera, so it should be a good thing to talk about. Please don't forget, you can call. The phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. This person says, Robin says, While filing for renewal TPS, can I give both different physical address and mailing address because I might be moving after I filed for renewal and want
I would
to
only give the mailing address. I would not give the physical address because immigration people, they're not that smart. You're dealing with the mailroom. So only give the mailing address. I mean, yeah, they do ask where's your current address. So yes, you have to give them a physical address because physical address controls where you file the TPS. But yes, the mailing address should be more important. Otherwise, you get approved, you have RFV, you didn't get it, then you lost the case. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And we have another interesting question. Good morning. How long does it take for H-1B visa?
And on February 1st, you need to register for lottery. By March, they probably close by April 1st to April 5th. That's last year's rule. Each year, it changes a little bit. You can file. So hopefully by May or June, you know the answer. If you have OPT, you have an H-1B gap. So if you got the OPT and you got the H-1B approval, then you can work in America at least until October 1st under the gap working visa, and then the H-1B will start in October 1st. So it's a difficult answer. So first registry, it takes about, they give you 20, 30 days. It takes only 5 minutes to file. And then you have to file the H-1B. It takes about, nowadays, there was a time they allow you premium processing, expeditious. I don't know if this year they will, because every year they change. If they don't, it takes only, because there are only 55,000 numbers, or 65,000 for the bachelor and 20,000 for master, but it takes about maybe 1.5 months, 2 months for the approval or the RFV or the NOID.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong. Don't forget the phone number is 216-279-3984. 216-279-3984 is the phone number you need to call in order to talk to the attorney Margaret W. Wong. The next question we have right now is coming from Galliges.
What's happening with DACA? That's a very good question.
Okay.
Nothing is happening to DACA, which is good news. Keep filing for parole before they stop it. If you already have DACA, make sure you don't have DUIs or any criminal offense. They're getting tougher on criminals, unlike the olden days. If you have DACA, make sure you file for extension 90 days ahead. Or 120 days. You need to go on the web and see what's the day. I had seen another case where the lawyer filed too early. They bounce it back only after 2 months, so you sort of lose that 2 months. Make sure you don't let DACA expire, because if it's expired more than a year, there's no more DACA. So number one, no change in DACA. Number two, make sure you file parole. Number three, absolutely no criminal records. Try not to drive without a license. Also try absolutely no DUI, no pornography, no selling cigarettes to a minor. You know how we all work. And somehow we didn't check the ID when they're offering a drink. Always, even though I'm 73, people still ask for my ID, and I happily give it to them because I know you need to check IDs when anybody who offers a drink. So these are the two things I need to avoid. There's no change in DACA, it's good, but there's no more DACA, which means that if you let the DACA expire more than a year, no good. If you never had DACA, no good. Hopefully we win Biden the second time, or a Democratic president, but I love Biden. I think his immigration policy is great. Then DACA will come back.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Wong. And yeah, DACA should stay there at least during this. Even if some people are filing lawsuits against DACA, I don't think it's going to go away, at least for the next few years. So thank you so much for the question. If you need more information, please give us a call. The phone number is 216-279-3984. 216-279-3984. When I miss a court, does TPS help me not be deported?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, and better yet, use the fact that you have TPS, that there's no reason and you have no motivation to miss the court, because your case probably would be terminated or dismissed or status if you have TPS anyway. So maybe do a motion to reopen and argue, no motivation to miss. I mean, why miss the court unless you didn't get notice, you were sick, you were in the hospital, you were getting married. I mean, there's no reason. You already have TPS. Why not show up in court?
Okay, thank you so much. Do they need an attorney to show up in court?
No, I mean, you technically do. If the first court they ask you, do you need time to get a lawyer? You should say yes, you need time. But the second court, they're not going to give you that continuance.
But I remember Attorney Rotanio said, you need to show up. That's all
right.
you need. Show up.
That's right. The Andy Warhol. Yes, 3 minutes of fame. Well, that's good. Yes, Mr. Rotanio. I just saw him a few minutes ago.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank
you so much, Ms. Wong. And that's part of your awesome team that you have in the office. So I'm glad that you have very, very good attorneys and people that are, helping everybody to get their immigration relief and representing people in court. Attorney Robert, Attorney Rotanio, they have been judges or prosecutors, so they know a lot of how the system works from the inside. So, okay, let's go ahead with the next question. I have applied U visa in April 2021 with I-765 for work permit fingerprints done in November 2022. Nothing heard yet from USCIS. Please guide me.
Good news. Now, whatever you get, it'll be 5 years because all the work permit on C8 and C9 is up to 5 years, but not the TPS, not the DACA, and not the parole. But most C8, I presume you have a C8 done. Yeah, you will, and in the meantime, use the automatic 540-day extension to show your boss to get a driver's license. But you should be approved, and it will be a 5-year one. So I tell all my clients, if the work permit is too slow, now they got 5 years. Congratulations.
Yes, and some new applications are getting right there. 30 days, 3 weeks, they get a work permit. So
that's right.
It's working in a different way. The next question we have is, I want to get married. I came through the border. Can my fiance invite my parents to come? He is from the United States.
Nigeria is tough. Latino countries is easier, especially you're marrying someone. The U.S. citizen could send a letter over for the tourist visa, and there are actually people who can help you fill out the forms. And this, honestly, Nigeria is a Wild West. It doesn't hurt to send them a letter. Take your luck, because it could be after COVID they're nicer. But Nigeria is a very bad place to work in the American consulate, because there's a lot of fraud. Sorry about that.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And don't forget, the attorney Margaret W. Wong is an attorney, an immigration attorney that has been working on this field for over 46 years. So she has a lot of experience. She has never quit, not even in the pandemic. She was still there every single day, 5 a.m. in the office, working for everybody, not traveling because it was a tough time. She could, nobody or not many people could get on a plane, and the airports were empty. But still, she was working from the office with a lot of discipline, checking the cases, having a look of all of the files. So that tells you the discipline that an attorney needs to have, and that sounds it's something I have seen personally. So if you want an attorney that knows about your case and that can help you with her knowledge and her discipline, plus the experience that other attorneys that are working with her have in the office, you need to call the attorney Margaret W. Wong. The phone number is 216-279-3984. 216-279-3984. You can see it at the bottom of this streaming. And also, you can make your appointment in one of the 7 cities that she has offices right now, in Atlanta, Chicago, Columbus, in Nashville, New York, Raleigh, North Carolina, and of course, the city of Cleveland, where the headquarters are. So you are just one call distance, 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. The next question is, hello, how can I change my student visa to a work visa?
There are three types of student visa to work visa. One is OPT, one is H1, and one is CPT. So OPT is pre-completion OPT or after post-completion OPT. If you finish your OPT or if you have a STEM degree like science degree, mathematics, actuaries, you can do a 24-month STEM OPT. CPT is when you couldn't get an H1B, even though you have an employer, you could actually go to get an MBA or master's or PhD degree. The school will give you a CPT, a full-time work permit for at least 24 months, but you have to go to school at least 1 day a week. So a lot of these schools, they put all these classes on a Friday or Saturday, so that give you another 40 hours to work full-time, that's CPT. That's it. OPT, CPT, STEM OPT, and H1B. So H1B is also getting difficult. In my days, when we get H1B in the 60s and 70s and 80s, there's no requirement prevailing wage. Now there's a prevailing wage. In those days, there's unlimited numbers. Nowadays, it's 65,000 numbers and 20,000 for masters. So the game have changed. And I think America is sort of silly because if you look at Canada, they are opening their doors for skilled workers. America, we have not been, but Biden is trying to make O visa easier, make 5 years work permit instead of 2, but H1B is still maximum 6, initial period 3. So Biden is working on it.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong. We are getting more and more questions. Thank you for your advice. And if you have any other question, please give us a call, 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. I was told that the court uh, took my case out of a schedule. Uh, will I
Good.
keep my work permit?
Yes, there are 4 things. The Odin law is small admin close, which means that they close the case, you can protect work permit. But in the early days, most of us or most lawyers didn't understand the importance of work permit, like 151 days for a C8. Then you file the 482B to get a C10. But now the more and more are looking up for work permit now. So they started dismissal. So there are a few ways. There are 4 things. You have admin close, protect work permit, dismissal, you cannot protect work permit, termination, cannot work permit, status or taking off the docket is a new law that just started a few months ago. In fact, BIA also started. So if you have a case on appeal, you can get docket or off the docket, same with IJ. So then the question is, could I win the case? If I could win, don't take it off the docket. But I feel it's iffy. I much prefer to, now it's 5 years, protect my 5-year work permit, go off the docket because you can always come back to the docket. Like if I have a new baby, the new baby have Down syndrome, autism, it's a good case. You can always reopen. Same with admin close, but with dismissal and termination, you cannot reopen the case.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And well, if this person may want translation, but I will do it in the next show, or you can text us directly on our inbox, and I can give you a translation of what Ms. Wong just said. We have a Facebook page in Spanish, so you can join on that Facebook page, Margaret W. Wong and Associates en español. Y ahí va a poder ver también la respuesta que acaba de dar la abogada. Se la vamos a traducir al español. Thank you so much. Last question from this other person that asked something about the work permit. How long will it take?
It takes right now 1.5 bona fideness. That's a C14 work permit under Trump. That's why most lawyers don't file it. I lucked out. I always file it because I just figure for $410 is worth it. But under Obama, they only give 1 year and sometimes 2 years. Under Trump, no bona fideness work permit. Under Biden, now we're getting 4 years, but now it's slowed down. It's taking about 1.5 years to 2 years from the date of filing. When if the law first started, it takes only about 6 months. Now it's slowed down again. But bona fideness means that the U visa cannot be approved because there's no more numbers, but the superficial filing of it looks good. So it will give you a work permit. That's a C14. That's good for 4 years.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And I think it's going to be the last question for today. It's a very sad one. 3 years ago, my brother was killed in a car accident. The other driver left the scene. He ran away. His family don't have any documents. The family of the brother of the person that is writing, uh, would they qualify for some kind of visa? It was a crime, hit and run, and no assistance.
So, do you want to help the killers of your husband to get a visa, or you don't want the killer of your husband to get a visa?
No, I think the brother died, but he had a family. So his wife and maybe the kids don't have any documents.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my gosh. Not only is a U, okay, so you're trying to help your sister-in-law. I got it. I just don't want to give you a right wrong. And yes, there is a U visa possibility. U visa normally in a car accident a little bit difficult, but the fact that it's a hit and run helps us. But more than that, depends on the state you are in. Like Ohio, we are victim of crime. Compensation, the maximum is like 25,000. You don't even need a lawyer to do it. But if you want a lawyer to do it, the the commission actually pays the lawyer's fees. So it depends on the state. Different states have different, even financial. And I hope you sued your own insurance, paid you some money for uninsured motorists or hit and run accidents. So it depends on what kind of insurance at that time you're getting. So there are three things. Look at your own insurance or your house umbrella insurance to see if there's any way you could get a some sort of insurance money. Number two, look into the states or cities victim of crime or victimhood or something. Number three, absolutely try a U visa and see if it works. Then you get a bona fideness, a C-14 work permit in 1.5 to 2 years because it's sort of slow, but the U visa would take 7 or 8 years or 5 years for approval. 3 years after that, you can get a green card, the legal residencia. Yes, there's a lot of help, and I'm surprised it took you 3 years to ask this question.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's tough to talk about a family relative that passed away after an accident. But yeah, if you need more advice, please give us a call. The phone number is 216-279-3984, and Ms. Wong will be happy to help you in this case in the city that you are. Ms. Wong, our time is up for today. Thank you so much. It went really, really fast today. I don't know what happened, but very interesting questions. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge about immigration and about life, because you always have something inspirational to tell us about life. If you want to say something just to close the show, an advice for life. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Wong.
Thank you, Carlos.
See you next time, and have a good lunch.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, don't forget, the number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984, attorney Margaret W. Woman Associates with over 46 years of experience.